Okay, today is November 27th, 2013. This is the fourth test flight. The goal for this test flight is to take it up, verify lower throttle settings, make sure that engine is going to transition okay, and then start easing into the stall series. Since flight number 3, I did lean the aero injector out just slightly, about 1/8 of a turn leaner. All 3 test flights showed that I still was running really rich. I could make it all work by just manually pulling the mixture, and that was the intent all along. But now that I've got a little bit of time, I got no problem starting to lean it out a little bit. As you can see, the mixture is pulled back pretty far at idle. It still is way too rich at idle. So until I get the needle set just right, this is going to be the normal drill. Aggressively lean on the ground. It's a great day. We've had snow the last few days, and it finally cleared up. Very clear. Visibility is great. Hardly any clouds, just a few little wisps here and there. It's in the 50s. Ought to be nice. Wind is just a trickle coming down the runway. Alright, I think that's ready to taxi. I still haven't calibrated my fuel flow computer. It seems to be running pretty good, but I'm going to need to do that here in the next couple of flights. So I put 5 gallons in, and I could see the fuel level before I put that 5 gallons in, and I think I'm somewhere around 3/4 of a tank. According to the fuel computer, I've got 10 gallons. I think maybe it's a little higher than that. Maybe it's around 12 by visual inspection. But certainly enough fuel for the hour-long flight planned to do. I made one more adjustment to the baffling on the right-hand side. Cylinder number 3 has continued to run a little hotter than the others. So I put a deflector in on down by the base of the cylinder to try to force a little bit of extra air from the cylinder side over towards the head on that middle cylinder, the number 3. That's the second adjustment I've made. The previous adjustment really didn't show a whole lot of improvement. I've also got the oil cooler taped up a bit. Reduced it about 3 square inches last time, and that had the effect of bringing my oil temperature up to about 180, which is what I was hoping for. Wind chuck's going about 5 miles an hour. Looks to be fairly close to down the runway heading. Had a few other planes coming and going, but I haven't heard anything recently. I don't hear anything now. I don't see anybody. Yeah, maybe a 10-degree crosswind from the right. Alright, do a run up. Going to about 1750 or so. That was about 50 RPM on the left. And 40, 50 on the right. Alright, I think that's good. Fuel valves all the way on. Seat belts are tight, canopy is locked. Trim is set. Not going to use takeoff flaps, just going to go with a no flap takeoff. Camera's on and recording. Avionics are on, we're on alternator. I think we're about ready to go. Controls are good. All of our temps are good. And we're taking off to south. We're going to be using 17 right. Springs East traffic, experimental Sonex 604 Charlie Mike, departing 17 right, Springs East. Alright, here we go. Airspeed's alive. Turning 3,400 RPM on climb out. Holding about 70. I made some adjustments to the rudder trim tab, and it appears that I'm moving it in the wrong direction. I don't quite understand that, but it's definitely worse than it was last flight. I need more right rudder. I'll throttle back just a bit. I'm climbing out at about 100, doing about 800 feet per minute. a bit more. Below 3,300. And we're going to keep going up to about 2,000 AGL. We're about, well, between 8,000 and 9,000 MSL. Readjusted my elevator trim. The neutral position was off a little bit, so I readjusted that. It feels like it's doing pretty good now. Maybe just a slight bit of nose up trim. Having to hold just a little bit of back pressure to maintain 100. I want to keep on climbing here. Well, it appears that the modification of the baffle is showing some measurable improvement. I'm only at about 330 on the number 3 CHD, and everything else is in the 200 to 275 range. So I am seeing a noticeable improvement, it appears. Maybe by 20 or maybe 30 degrees. Around 62 psi, and the oil temperature is about 163 currently. I'll level off at 9. As soon as I leveled off, the temps start coming right down. Airspeed jumps up and CHDs start coming down almost immediately. I think I'm going to bring the engine back to 2750 and then lean. Appears to be running rough. Lean it out a little bit. Yeah, at around 2,800. I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm lean pretty good. Engine smoothed out quite a bit. My EGTs all look to be under control. I'm only in the mid-12s on everything. I could probably lean it out further. I think perhaps my trim lever is a little bit loose. When I look back down at it, it looked like it had centered itself again, instead of a slight amount of up trim that I dialed in. So keep an eye on it, see if maybe it's creeping back towards center. If so, I'll need to get in there and tighten up this screw a little bit. Well, the rudder trim, maybe it was just that takeoff that had me thinking it wasn't enough because now with my feet off the rudder pedals, I'm only maybe a half a ball out instead of 3/4 to a full ball out. So it appears to be closer, according to the dyno, in cruise. It did take a pretty good dose of rudder climbing out, but I guess that's not unusual. I'm going to get over here on the western side of the airport and I'm going to get it slowed down and try a stall. So this is going to be a clean, no flap stall. I'm going to slow it down, slow deceleration. Based on past performance and published numbers, I ought to expect in the mid-40s. I could have significant instrument error, so I'm going to mentally prepare for about the mid-50s. Alright, bringing the power back. There's 68. $62, 60, and a little bit of burbling around 55. $52, 50, 49, 47, 46, 44, 43. Stick's getting really loose. I'm down to 42. More back pressure. 39. Coming all the way back, 35. There's a first break. 35, 36, 34. I think that's it, about 35, 36. Alright, recovering. flaps on. We'll try a 10 degree. Alright, there's 10 degrees of flaps. I got a 64, 60, 51, 48, and I'm getting a strong smell here. Something smells hot. I think we're going to go down and check it out. Getting a couple of cylinders that are kind of fouled up, running this rich setting. That vibration was them coming back alive. Kind of unusual. Alright, I'm a bit high. Gonna have to continue dropping down. I'm still at pattern altitude here. holding about 78, maybe, well, just a few miles an hour slower. Feels like I'm just dragging it in, but I got plenty of speed still. Got a fair amount of power. Alright, so the runway's made. Power's coming back. Let's see if I can get turned around on this narrow little runway. Well, I don't smell any more hot smell. It may have just been a result of high angle of attack. It might have been recirculating some exhaust gas back into the vent, you know, maybe something along those lines. But I'm going to be safe and check it out. Just make sure nothing funky's going on. And that's it for this one.